a.m. It's cold outside. This is the Detroit in black and white. Saturday morning edition here at McShane's, Michigan and Trumbull. Jim Nardone, police chief and resident. How you doing, Jim?
Good, thank you.
Morning.
Former. Don't forget former.
Okay, former. Once a cop,
Retired.
always a cop.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Eric Brown.
Good morning. So
Mad at the world. He want prohibition to come back. You drink, Eric?
nope.
Okay, that's why. Attorney Vanessa Moss.
Good morning and happy new year. Good morning, D-Love. Good morning to all those that are watching Detroit in black and white. We want you to subscribe, tell your friends about it. We're trying to get those likes up, okay? 2025 is going to be real different for Detroit in black and white. So we're going to say like, subscribe, and share.
And Adolph Mongo and the owner of McShane said, you're going to have to pry that bottle out of my cold, dead head. Listen, before we get started, Allan, you had a video of those folks. Just some, I know we missed some people that left the house last year.
Right. Teresa, you want to roll it?
Fortunately, I knew several of those folks. And probably could put 2 or 3 others.
And the chef was on the show, right?
Yeah. And food was good. He was
4 years old. Young.
Yeah. He was a good guy. You know?
Yeah. I think he died was it a heart attack or something? He was I heard he was at a restaurant.
He was at, Z's.
Yeah. Right.
They go there every Friday. They had that meatloaf. So he always went around to different restaurants. I guess, different little recipes. He always promoted other folks and said he just slumped over.
I can't get that back with me.
And there it is. So we all gonna go.
Yes,
Well,
we're all
anyway.
going to go. So we
Having
think
said that,
what we do in life.
Stay away from the meatloaf. It's Z's.
well, listen.
I'm kidding.
When I go wherever,
That's not a good joke.
if I'm going up or down, I want to be a consultant to whoever in charge.
I know that's right.
I'm gonna be on a
I know that's
campaign.
right.
Campaign out of this world. But anyway, Jim, outrage. We only been a week into the new year. Do you have an outrage?
Well, I just have a quick comment. I wouldn't call it an outrage. We've been talking last night. We talked about New Orleans, how they had the barricades and they refused to put them up. And I want to give a kudos to the Detroit Police Department. I've been going to Lions games for about 12 years, and you cannot get to the Lions entrance on AMs without bypassing on your sidewalk. On the sidewalk leading in is a barricade, a metal barricade that would stop any vehicle. And I appreciate DPD, and I feel safe in this community, and I'm happy there.
I would say the same for LCA because I was at the LCA last night. Same thing. It's not like you can get real close to parking or close. So
Who was at the LCA?
Vanessa Moss.
And what was that?
Uh,
I can tell you who was you going with. Who was you sneaking out with? Who was you tipping with?
I was not tipping. I didn't go out with
So
anybody.
what was it? A
Okay,
concert?
No.
Hockey game?
Pistons.
Pistons?
The Pistons.
Oh, that's a
But
waste of time.
listen, I couldn't even tell you what happened
I
because
know.
I was in the suite with one of my girlfriends and her family, and we just had a good time. I have no
If
idea
you were
what
sitting,
happened.
if you were sitting on the
No
bench, if
idea.
you were sitting on the bench, you wouldn't know what happened.
The Pistons won. The Pistons won.
Yeah,
They
they
won.
beat it out.
They did
Yeah,
win.
they won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they played
That's
Charlotte,
what I
right?
heard.
Yeah, he played Charlotte.
That's
I
what
don't know.
heard.
U of D can beat Charlotte.
Oh my God.
Hey, Eric,
You know, my outrage is this is a new year. November 5th is over with. I don't like the man, but at the end of the day, people got to move on. If you didn't do enough to stop him from being elected, then worry about 2028 and finding someone to support that can be elected. To continuously talking about him, all this Trump derangement syndrome, move the fuck on.
well, but he won, but the asshole won't move the fuck on because here we got a funeral coming up for a former president, and he understands it. First, he said Jimmy Carter was the worst president he was, but anyway, he gave him his kudos, and then he's pissed off that they got the flag at half-mast to honor Jimmy Carter. Oh, they supposed to have it up. Americans, the Democrats are anti-American because they following
But
protocol.
I mean, that's just a lack of decorum on his part. People still, I mean, you can talk about
decency.
you can talk about a car going down Michigan Avenue, get a flat tire. People blaming it on Trump. Move the fuck on. Everything is not his fault. Everything is not his fault. And it's like, come on, move on.
Wait a minute, Eric. He put himself in this shit.
And the people put themselves in this shit by
He's the
not finding
president.
someone to support.
He's the president.
People put themselves, you know,
Listen,
won.
he won fair and square. He won fair and square. I mean, find something else to talk about.
Let me
Long
wrap
as
this.
I'm
Listen,
on this show, I'm gonna talk about.
I'm not talking about you and Jim. I'm talking about people in general. I mean, I had a conversation with my cousin. He's 25 years old. One of the conversations I had with him on Christmas, he talked about the amount of people in the union that voted for Trump. They voted against Biden in 2020 as well. At the end of the day, they found the contender to be a terrible candidate, which I feel the same way. There were two terrible candidates, and I'm going to use Charles Barkley's word. The most terrible of the two lost.
Okay, but here's
And
the
he's the
deal.
most terrible of whatever the fuck
But
he
here's the
is.
deal. When you say move on, I
You
don't
can't.
understand that
Yeah.
because he's president for the next 4 years. And so he's going to be the topic of conversation.
But people keep having a
Therefore-
revisionist conversation about the election. Okay, don't talk about the election. You can criticize him. You can criticize him all you want. But to continue to talk about November the 5th is counterproductive.
Story. No, because I'm trying to tell you to wait a minute, and you can't come hands all up in my face doing all this.
Let's
shit.
give
Are you serious? No, you can't be serious.
serious
You're
as
not.
Trump is president. Well, let's you don't have to outrage, though.
Let's hear from Allan.
My outrage is you putting your hand in my face
Okay.
and you telling people what they shouldn't be talking about.
Okay.
And I'm going
Listen,
to continue to tell people not to talk about Trump. The election over with. The election over
listen,
with.
I
You
don't
have
get
your outrage.
permission from him to talk. I talk when I want to talk.
I'm
It's
getting the
called
director
history.
say yo, this is a bar, not a neighborhood brawl. Alan, you're outraged. And don't say Trump.
Yeah,
No,
you
no.
Whatever you
I want to say something though. Just Hakeem Jeffries. I don't know if you heard his little speech
Yeah.
where he said, "Hey, Trump got elected two months ago, and all the Republicans stood up and clapped and were happy." And then he said, "We, as the party, accept whether you win or lose. We accept the outcome. We are not deniers." And then the Democrats stood up and clapped. But my outrage is we have a cartoonist at the Washington Post who has just quit. Her name's Ann Telnace. She quit because they killed a cartoon of hers that was making fun of all the oligarchs, including Jeff Bezos, who owns the Washington Post, giving money. And here's the cartoon. They're giving money to the Trump statue there. and it was killed before it could be published, which is just totally unheard of. I think we're in such dangerous territory with these oligarchs who own the LA Times, own the Washington Post. She left. She said, I'm not going to work for a publication. She says, we're here to stand up to power. And the power is trying to undercut that. So I think it's a disgrace.
But Allen, listen, I worked for a newspaper in Colorado Springs, the Colorado Springs
What year
Sun.
was
Oh, 77, 78, 79.
Okay,
We're
go ahead.
owned by the Oklahoma Publishing Company, one of the most conservative companies. They own all the papers in Oklahoma. These billionaires been giving money to folks like Reagan and Trump and
They give it
right,
to all of
right,
them.
but it's not new. Whoever the president get a boatload of money, all of a sudden people fall in line. For example, the Colorado Springs Sun editorial board, made up of very conservative folks, thought Ronald Reagan was a liberal. And you know, this is the territory you worked in and you dealt with it. She knew what she was dealing with. The Times and the Post and the LA Times, they all killed stories. I had stories not run because the publisher, advertiser, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Listen,
But those are small papers. The Washington Post always had the integrity of the Graham family.
But it's all local though. Small papers, big papers, whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is, and you know, Allen, that sometimes you have a problem with people that own the shit.
Yeah.
And the owners, they can do whatever the hell they want, and the only thing you can do is quit. So I'm not surprised, and people shouldn't be surprised that Jeff Bezos and Bozo the Clown and Ricky the Clown is giving money to Trump.
It depends on which oligarch you're talking about. They didn't complain when it was Beyonce and Taylor Swift, and those oligarchs are okay.
It's all fair game.
But
I
Jim,
said they all
Jim,
do it.
those aren't fair. The comparison. I mean, who's contributing it? There are over. I mean, it's corrupt in terms of the large contribution on both sides. But when it comes to publication, the Grahams own the Washington Post. They never ever interfered with
Censored.
Yeah, they never censored. And now we're seeing for the first time ever.
But they had to sell.
It's unfortunate.
But they had a monopoly at times. They had to sell channel. Listen, they own the newspapers, the radio stations, TV.
They own WDIV still. The Grahams do.
Listen,
Allen's right. They should be able to say whatever they want. Period.
but if I own it, I have a right to say
She
don't
can say
do
whatever
shit.
she wants to do. An
Yeah.
independent cartoon.
Yeah.
I mean, she has the right to do that. The person who owns the paper has the right to say, I don't want this in my paper.
So what about Colin Kaepernick, who was an employee of the San Francisco 49ers?
He had the right to take a knee.
But what if
He
his
had the right
employer
to
didn't
take
want
a
him
knee.
doing that?
And guess what? When they send you out of here, they send you out of here. And those of
And
you that
they
continue
pick
to
and
support,
choose. They
And
pick
and
and
those of
choose.
you that continue to support the NFL,
It sadly cost him his career, but
But he
those
got
of
paid.
you that
He got
continue
paid.
to support the NFL, what does that say about
But
you,
he
sir?
got paid.
And
They
ma'am.
settled. Sometimes you do things you do. Whether it's a big paper or a small paper, people change the narrative.
Whether it's the NFL or the NBA.
And they don't want to run a story. And listen, I didn't work in the big papers like you, Allen, Detroit News, Washington Post. I was just in Kalamazoo and Frederick, Maryland, and Colorado Springs, and we still had the same assholes who own the paper who said you can't run this, don't do this, and they wrote retractions and all kind of shit. I had a story up in Kalamazoo. I came back and said, this cult that's up there, Black Hebrews, I said, they hurting and abusing kids and stuff. And I got in the interview, the leader, and I come back with good story. They wouldn't run it. A week later, I wake up and look at the Free Press. They got big headlines saying kids done died in this camp.
Right.
Wow.
We had the story, and the asshole, I quit.
Why didn't they? What was their excuse for not running it?
Because they were scared. They were scared to deal with it.
Listen,
They
I
were scared
want to
to
give
deal
a
with it.
shout out to Terry McCrimmon. First, she said something to Eric like he can't believe that this guy is talking about people still talking about Trump and the election where the Republicans talked about it when Biden was in office. He also went on to say, Jim, Taylor Swift and Beyonce does not have the same influence as the president. I think that's a very good point.
But I think that's true when he's talking about military secrets. But Bruce Springsteen can walk into Joe Biden's White House and get whatever he wants.
Well, we got.
He's a billionaire.
We're gonna take a break and we're gonna come back with our first guest.
In the heart of Detroit, Bruce Simpson. Our city ombudsman and his team are dedicated to making your voice heard. The City of Detroit Ombudsman is a liaison between the City of Detroit and all persons who have a complaint or inquiry into the operation of a city department or the conduct of a city employee. The Ombudsman works as an independent oversight to provide individuals with an opportunity of giving a confidential avenue to address complaints. You can reach the Ombudsman's office at 313-224-6000 or email us at ombudsmandetroitmi.gov. You can also visit us at the Coleman A. Young Municipal Center. For more information, go to www.detroitmi.gov and type in Ombudsman. We are here to help. In Detroit, we are all one team. When you win, we all win.
Hi, I'm Eric Sabri, your Wayne County Treasurer. If you're living in the home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, the probate process can be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Baker Bus.
Well, welcome back to Detroit in Black and White. Sitting in with us is Martin Drouillard.
Yep.
How you doing, Marty?
I'm doing good.
Who's your friend?
Couple rats, from the city of Taylor. I have two-legged ones and four-legged ones there.
Well, Marty is the host of a podcast, Taylor Uncovered.
Correct.
Yeah. Marty, you've been involved in politics for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
What is happening over there now that you causing a lot of
well, they don't like to be they don't like to be talked to pretty much. They don't like you coming to city council meetings and expressing the facts. I think this administration is following in the same footsteps as the last one.
What happened to the last one?
Well, the last mayor got 71 months in federal prison.
Right.
So,
Rick Silas, right?
Correct. And there's several of his, cronies still on the city council.
Who's the mayor now?
Tim Woolley.
Okay, wasn't he on the city council?
He was.
Okay.
That was part of the last administration. Part of the problem.
Aren't you still having some issues with touring contracts over there?
So any contracts, they're not doing background checks to see if these people have done anything bad in the background. And I researched several of them, Al's Asphalt and JT Kova, the towing company that they proposed. And why they did that, the existing tow companies, clean as can be. He was part of he was initial whistleblower against the previous mayor. And so they're holding that against him, I believe. There's 3 ladies on the city council that are battling, against the new administration. And, I got to stick up with them.
So let me ask you this. Because you said that one of the towing companies, you implied that one of the towing companies has some issues in the past. Is it that you have issues with them because of their past? What are they doing presently? Are they doing the job that they contracted for? Are they doing it in a professional manner? Are there any questions currently about what they are or are not doing?
Well, they didn't get the contract because the three ladies sort of knocked that down. There's only
6 council members on Taylor now.
Mhm.
They haven't found a way to get that 7th person back. You know, every time they put up somebody, it goes 3 and 3, and they don't make it.
So what's your problem with it?
Well, it's just their
I asked you a
background
question,
in the
what's your
city.
Okay.
In the city of Detroit, they did a lot of, questionable things. They had a lot of problems with the law and everything. So I didn't want to bring that. Why do you need to bring that into the city? We just got through that. You know, we just had a huge black eye. You want to continue bringing criminals?
What
You
they
said, wait a minute,
responsible?
hold on, wait a minute. You said now you bring the city of Detroit in this. What does the city of Detroit have to do with these contractors in Taylor? I need you to
Well,
bring
it's
that
what they
together.
did in the city of Detroit, and the court cases they were, part of.
So tell our audience what you're talking about.
What am I talking about?
Yes, what kind of court cases?
Well,
What
they
you
did.
say?
There was a big deal with stolen vehicles from their. They had control of it.
Wasn't one of them a snitch?
He definitely.
And all of them went to jail, and
Yeah.
the city council people in the city. But if he gonna come on, he need to tell the real
Right,
deal
that's
on
why
why
I'm asking those
on
questions.
why is Taylor gonna give a contract to a snitch who put some people in jail, who
Right.
bribed city council folks, who we got a city council person is
We've already-
under scrutiny and still voting on contract.
We've had
But I
bad
think
enough
that's
black
important
eyes.
for the audience to
Yeah.
know exactly what it is. You can't come on the show and give us half of a story. So that's why I'm
We
asking
know
the
counsel.
question.
It's so long.
I
The
know.
story is so big. It might take more than a show to.
Well, you could come
He
back.
did it in 30 seconds.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, but we just don't need that continually in Taylor. I'm trying to be a force that wants to be there for transparency and things like that. And they don't want me around.
But people in Taylor that I talk to, some of your critics say this is all political. If we want to set up city council, is that true?
Well, I definitely want to sit on city council because what we have there now is hurting the city more than helping it. That's for sure. If they're gonna approve people like that to be, Al's Asphalt, who got into a big bind with, they're both felons, owners of that. There's no way I could see that, continually being brought back into the city and given contracts to. It's
But
just.
did I hear you say that the new mayor is or was an associate of the former mayor that's in jail?
Correct.
Then the people are the problem. They elected that
Yeah,
person.
definitely. I mean,
It's like
it's
they
just like
elected
you
the
said.
president of the
Yeah,
United States.
yeah.
Same
Same thing. It's just that. I mean, if that guy was here now, I took him off the ballot, the previous mayor, because he lied on his documents.
Yeah, he sure did.
And so, I mean,
And people elected him anyway.
and you have a mayor now who won't show
Right.
it won't show the money that was given. So why? Well, why?
Well, he hasn't filed his campaign.
Correct. He's
Financial
getting fines
report.
and everything. Yeah. So I mean, why continue doing that? I mean, the people. I'm just trying to give the people the knowledge, which they're just, some of them are blind to.
Are y'all gonna recall? Because the new mayor Warren
Warren
is
didn't
being
recall.
Right.
recalled because of her action.
Well, a petition hasn't been
Yeah.
fully signed. But to Adolph's point about the finance report not being submitted. So this question is you, Adolph. Isn't that Jocelyn Benson issue at this point?
Always. Yeah. Well, she want to run.
She
for
want to be governor. Okay.
And
Well,
Taylor is a big size city,
Right.
and you can't. I don't think she can. She's not gonna get involved in that.
One of the city council members.
But
Uh,
doesn't she have to? Her
Eventually,
office, yes.
eventually,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I filed a thing to recall one of the city council members, and he used the city attorney, which definitely illegal, to fight my court case against them, and they lost. But it's illegal for the city attorney,
It's a conflict of interest.
correct? And
Not illegal.
well, I mean, the
Go
state
ahead.
shows differently. I have
Okay.
some documents where they state that what he did was.
So you won.
I
You were
did,
able to prevail.
correct.
And as a result of you prevailing, what did you get besides?
Well, I didn't get anything. I mean, it took so long to go through the court case that I couldn't even call it. I had no time to, build it up to go door to door or whatever.
Well, what next, Marty? You come here, and you make a compelling case that it's business as usual. You got your two rats. What you the one that had dressed up in a prison outfit that helped defeat Solomon?
We had a friend who did spend some time in prison. A couple of them dressed up in prison outfits and handed out documents at the polling places and got a real, a huge kick out of it. Everybody did, because they, we were trying to tell the story, and people don't want to listen. They would have voted that mayor back in, given the chance.
If people want to work with you or help your cause, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, they can get in touch with me on Facebook easily, and through my podcast there too. They can text me or message me, and I'm open to anybody. Somebody wants to come on my podcast, I'm more than happy to let them.
So, give your name, and also give us the name of your podcast.
Okay, my name is Martin Drouillard, and the spelling of Drouillard is DROUILLARD. My podcast is Taylor Uncovered, and it's on Facebook, soon to be on YouTube.
And how many days are there?
I don't have set times. I just started it several months ago, so I'm really getting into the whole. I'm doing it all by myself, so I'm really getting into the whole podcast thing, and I've learned a lot over the last few months.
I can give you the address and the name of the owner of Bulletproof Vest. You need to watch it back. Listen, Marty.
I got that covered. I think.
Yeah, you want to?
No, I want you to give a history of the tolling, how this happened, and what the contract.
Well, we don't understand why they're trying to remove area. They come up with these things that they charge too much or whatever.
Explain about area tolling, what it is.
Yeah, area towing. They do towing and recovery. They do everything off the freeway, the big, semis and stuff like that. And they've really grown into a good, solid company with a person who's, on the up and up. I wouldn't say this if anybody has any proof that he's not. Please come forward, because I don't think you can.
Who is it?
Shane Anders.
Okay.
Great guy, great person. He was one of the whistleblowers that put that mayor into the prison sentence that he has.
And I guess that would have been real tough, because they used to be buddies.
Oh, they were best friends, man. They went everywhere together and did everything together. But Shane's an up and up, a guy he's not gonna want to pay somebody.
Let me make sure I got this right. Shane is the former mayor.
No, Shane is the owner of Area Towing.
Okay.
Rick Solers is the former mayor.
Okay, I'm asking, were they good friends?
Best of friends.
They were the
The
best
families went on trips together and everything.
Okay, and the best friend, the tower, blew the whistle on his boy.
Right, right.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we got that straight.
Yeah, he wasn't going to jail.
Oh, he was facing possibly going to jail.
Well, you see something that me and you hang out, and I see you stealing money from the cash register.
I didn't see nothing.
And the thing is,
I didn't see nothing.
they wouldn't
I
pay.
didn't see a thing.
He wouldn't pay to play with the former mayor, nor will he do with this administration, and that's what they're holding against him. They bring people up to say that he charges too much. Two people from other cities, so I don't know how good.
So let me make sure I got this straight. So two best friends, one.
You're just like an attorney. You taking one thing.
So one, the one that's not in, would not pay his boy in order to play, and so he decides that he's gonna rat
No, they just picked
on
up.
his boy.
No, but he ain't going to jail.
They picked up conversations from the phone,
Yeah.
and so then they
Who is
started
they?
the federal government.
Okay, let's make it clear.
Well, we're gonna have to have Marty back, because you would think we were in 36th District Court or Wayne County Circuit, Marty,
Comedy
you're gonna
circuit.
have to come back.
I definitely will.
You know, and
I'll bring my friends back
Take your
too.
rats with you.
and that's Ben and Willie.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And
They wrote a song for that dude. Yeah.
Ben,
Ben.
Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
that's Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
That's Ben.
yeah.
Well, anyway, we'll be back. We'll take a break.
In the heart of Detroit, Bruce Simpson. Our city ombudsman and his team are dedicated to making your voice heard. The City of Detroit Ombudsman is a liaison between the City of Detroit and all persons who have a complaint or inquiry into the operation of a city department or the conduct of a city employee. The Ombudsman works as an independent oversight to provide individuals with an opportunity of giving a confidential avenue to address complaints. You can reach the Ombudsman's office at 313-224-6000 or email us at ombudsmandetroitmi.gov. You can also visit us at the Coleman A. Young Municipal Center. For more information, go to www.detroitmi.gov and type in Ombudsman. We are here to help. In Detroit, we are all one team. When you win, we all win.
Hi, I'm Eric Sabri, your Wayne County Treasurer. If you're living in the home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, the probate process can be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Well, welcome back to Detroit in Black and White. That was real interesting, and we'll have Marty back on because there's a lot to what's happening in Taylor.
A lot in towing, though.
Yeah,
They don't like my music talked about in Toronto. It sounds like it's the same issue up there.
There's a lot of money to be made in towing.
Yeah, towing and waste removal.
But why? But
Like
why?
the Sopranos.
Yeah, but why
And
would?
strip club.
But why would you give
Oh
a
man.
contract to a company that was involved in a
Corruption
big scandal
previously.
in your biggest city and the state? So I understand why people are pissed and shit. And I think all towing companies charge too much. So that's the price of doing
You
business.
feel that way because your car has been towed several times.
Yes, but guess what? And I ain't had to pay either. Because
Because
the
you got
police,
connections.
no, the police was corrupt here. How you get your car towed, you get stopped for a ticket, and here's the tow truck. It was corrupt. And the same people that want to get the new contract in Taylor is the same people that conspired with all these Detroit cops. Some of
So
them
you
went to
and Marty
jail.
want to drain the swamp anyway.
Yeah.
Don't leave our viewers
Taylor,
out of the loop. Explain your story in
And listen,
Detroit so people can understand.
I bought a new car, a convertible, red.
It was stolen. He didn't buy it.
Yeah, that's
He
right.
bought it from the towing company.
But you know what? You laugh because he wanted to shoot me. He stopped me and said, "You have a warrant for your arrest in Flint. You got all these tickets and stuff. You got a stolen car." 10 minutes into the stop, here come a tow truck. They towed my car. But unbeknownst to him was a guy that was walking. He was a retired deputy chief of Detroit Police Department. I had Craig's number. I called Craig. I said,
Did you cuss him out?
I said,
Former
"You got
Chief
an
James
idiot."
Craig.
Yeah, I said, "You got an idiot.
Not everybody's-
Stop me, call me a thief, etc." He said, "Tell him to bring a supervisor." He didn't want to get a supervisor, but he did. Here come 5 police cars.
Huh.
I said, "This is unbelievable."
Your vehicle had already been
It
towed.
already been told. They said I didn't have insurance. It was stolen. Guess what?
He know they
I got 5 tickets, and an hour later, I had my car. It came back.
drained the swamp.
And then when I went to court, the judge looked at this fat, unsat, unqualified
person.
police. Yes, the only thing that asshole
Drained the
could do
swamp.
was to shoot somebody in the back. That's what I told Craig. He's unsat. He a disgrace to the uniform. And this guy saw me in court. I know he wanted to shoot me. But somebody called me, say I went to high school with him. He was a fucking bully then, and he's a bully now. Piece of garbage.
Listen,
Sounds like they told the car because you was cussing them out.
Wait a minute, trauma. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, right.
I'm
You
sorry.
triggered
Give him a hug. Give him a hug.
But no.
That's right. Let me give you a hug.
But you know what?
hug.
But that's how people
I'm
get
sorry.
killed. That's how people get killed because of assholes like that. So now
So I want
let's move on.
right. So we want to give a shout out to. I'm so sorry for triggering.
Well,
this morning. I'm
post-
I think I
Post-traumatic stress
PTSD.
syndrome.
Right. And you know what? We're laughing this beginning of the year, but trust PTSD, we recognize it is very serious. But we want to talk to some of our viewers. Dwayne Boyce, good morning. Chip Tracy said good morning. He also said that he was on his way down here to meet us. He loves the show. Burdell Burr said Eric does not like the new president, Biden Harris. Who do you like, Eric?
None of them. None of them. None of them. And definitely never have liked Biden. So
But anyway,
Are we missing some of them, Teresa? Or is that everything?
that was more.
I don't know. Oh, here we are.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Terry.
And you know what? I want to give a shout out to those who do not comment. B. Huff, Tracy Huff, Miles Wilson.
Miles.
Who is that?
Miles Wilson.
no nepotism here.
What? Listen, he watches the show.
Hey,
Yeah.
Miles.
Can I clarify a point?
Son of Vanessa Moss.
I have two.
Well, you said Miles. You didn't mention that.
Hey, Travis.
Travis. I mean, okay. Hey, Travis. If
But
you
Miles
Miss
watch-
Travis. We
Miles
miss
watch every-
Travis.
Travis is busy raising his children.
I just want to go back to Alan's point. Alan made a point. I don't want to get caught up in it wasn't the subject. The point was that she should be able to say whatever she wants. And that's what the press is for. And whenever we don't allow the press to get the facts and say what really happened, give a fair story, then we're all losers. So
Yeah.
we need to give the press the opportunity.
Listen,
to
Burdell
tell the
Burb
story.
said that there was a semi truck on Interstate 75, and she believes I-75, and a towing company downriver charged the driver $8,000 to get the truck out of the flood area.
How big was
That
the truck?
is outrageous.
How big was the truck? Because I've seen buses being towed. I don't know. Did they have to pay it? Because I know I would have been pissed off.
Burdell, how big was the truck, and did they have to pay it?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of it's
Please answer the
insurance.
question.
Is why some of these companies are able to charge more because
Because they
they're
asked you
the
if
insurance
that's your
company.
the person. You take
Oh,
your
yeah,
car
they have
to
insurance. Yeah.
I have
collision
never been
insurance.
told, thank you, Jesus. So I have no idea what that experience is.
Shut up, attorney.
I
Listen,
have
if I was
no
a judge,
idea.
I would sanction you in my courtroom because you intimidate witnesses and everything else. but anyway, that's some of the comments.
Okay.
$8,000.
And that's a lot of bread.
It had to be an 18-wheeler, I'm assuming.
That's crazy.
That might have been a 747. Yeah. You all calm now?
Oh, you chip.
I'm fine.
We're not worried about Eric. We're worried about you.
This your guy?
Yeah, I will be.
This is one that our viewers, he said he was on his way down here.
How's it going?
What's up? What's up?
Good morning. Nice to meet you all. My legal name is Whitney Clark. Nice to meet you.
Wait,
Absolutely. Well, I'm here.
You can sit over
Yeah,
here.
I want to sit in the big chair. This is Dana's chair.
no, this is the big chair. You got it.
Okay.
You got it
excuse me.
twisted. Okay?
Oh my gosh, so this is a big deal. So nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you.
My name is Whitney Clark. I'm a big fan of your work. I've been following the podcast for some time now. I'm getting ready to run for City Council District 5 to replace Mayor Sheffield. And so, yeah, I'm very excited about the future of the city.
Tell us why.
We have been overtaxed $600 million. You can lose your home in this city if you don't pay your water bill. Taxes are some of the highest, and our schools are some of the worst. Everyday Detroiters are getting fed up. I'm running for city council because I want to ensure that my children have a place in the city. I want to ensure that we have a place in the city in the future. We have to step forward. I'm 36 years old. we've been criticizing from the sideline, from the comment section for far too long. It's our generation to step forward and make sure that this city is a place where we can thrive. We also been given this challenge, this very unique challenge of helping aging population. We know about the civil wave. We understand that Social Security is expected to be diminished around 2030. So we, as young people, have this challenge of assisting an aging demographic while simultaneously trying to ensure that the children that we're raising are competitive, they're bright, they're brilliant, and ready to work at high school.
And how old are your children?
My children, I have a 3-year-old and I have a 5-month-old.
And I asked that question because I've been telling quite a few candidates over the last cycle, not just for local elections, but also state and federal. If you don't include education as part of your platform, you might as well not run.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if you saw my post on Facebook. I said, anyone that's running for mayor or any office in Detroit, if you're not talking about education, stay the fuck on the sideline.
So my response to that is I appreciate that sentiment, and I agree 100% because as we begin to talk about improving our neighborhoods, I think that we are misleading ourselves if in these neighborhoods we don't have better schools, better food options, better city services. And so we've been taking a very extensive look at the DDA, Act of 1975. It was a very great piece of legislation, and you have to be very careful when you criticize anything that Coleman Young has done, right? It was great legislation at that time, but we're not certain that it works for the people
at the present day, right?
So when you talk about something that happened in the past and present day, I want to bring up something. I know someone who has quite a few businesses in the city, but when you drive down 7 Mile East, West 7 Mile, 6 Mile, there are a lot of empty buildings. People want to buy these buildings, do something with these buildings, but they're told, listen, it has not been zoned for that. So you rather have these buildings sitting empty for decades because of zoning. When you have people, you have to. And those are the things that I think will make a difference in whoever decides that they're going to run. You said that you're running not just for mayor, but also for city council, because that is a real issue. You cannot have a world-class city where you just have downtown Detroit and certain pockets in the city of Detroit looking great. When you don't have a good education system and the neighborhoods are in decay. And what I mean by that is there's no reason that people should be going to the gas station to buy groceries because there's a food desert.
I agree.
And you tell somebody you can't buy this building over here because it has not been zoned to be a grocery store, or it has not been zoned to be whatever the case may be. So I think that is an issue that people need to talk about. Our other guests is here. It's hot this morning.
I'm gonna get right.
I just have to come and say hello to you guys, but I do want to.
Before you leave, hey, excuse me. Before you leave, can you tell us a little?
I requested you on Facebook. You need to respond back.
Oh, okay.
We're friends on the internet.
Before you leave, tell us a little bit about your background, what you do, and your education.
So it's funny that she mentioned 7 Mile. I am a church administrator, minister of music on 7 Mile, right across the street from the Winans Church, and so that's what I do professionally. I'm a working church. I'm also
which Winans Church?
Well,
You see what?
help us, Lord. No, so I'm talking about the one on 7 Mile, the one that's been here for quite some time. So yes.
Did you see the look on my face?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
I got a pretty
it's
good.
Open now?
No, it's not open.
Okay.
But I use that. Oh my God.
So what you play?
No.
So in an empty space with no. Okay. All right.
I work at the church directly across the street. It's not as prominent of a church. It's easier to give people Duchess Girl Donuts or the Winans Church to kind of give them a sense of where you are. So that's where I work. I've also done a great deal of political work. One of the things I'm most proud about is Prop 3 in this most previous midterm election, where we were able to secure and protect the rights of women here. We thought that was very important. So I would call that one of the bigger things that I've done most recently. But overall, yes, ma'am.
We got to cut to a
No
commercial.
problem.
We got
No
another
problem.
guest.
Tell
Okay.
everybody
you.
your name.
Yeah.
Tell
Listen,
them,
thank you guys for just letting me
tell us
jump
what
up.
you're
Yeah,
talking
sure.
about.
Your real name, not your screen
I
name.
know, right? So listen, my name is Whitney Clark. I am running for City Council District 5. And again, thank you guys for.
Whitney Clark, drummer boy.
And people
Okay.
come down and talk with us.
Yes,
We
no, I'm a
appreciate it.
musician. I'm drum too, but I play. So thank you guys so
Thank
much for
you.
giving me and I love what you guys
Thank
are doing.
Thanks for traveling down
No
there.
problem, no problem.
Thank you.
He's like, I need to do something.
Yeah. What else?
In the heart of Detroit, Bruce Simpson. Our city ombudsman and his team are dedicated to making your voice heard. The City of Detroit Ombudsman is a liaison between the City of Detroit and all persons who have a complaint or inquiry into the operation of a city department or the conduct of a city employee. The Ombudsman works as an independent oversight to provide individuals with an opportunity of giving a confidential avenue to address complaints. You can reach the Ombudsman's office at 313-224-6000 or email us at ombudsmandetroitmi.gov. You can also visit us at the Coleman A. Young Municipal Center. For more information, go to www.detroitmi.gov and type in Ombudsman. We are here to help. In Detroit, we are all one team. When you win, we all win.
Hi, I'm Eric Sabri, your Wayne County Treasurer. If you're living in the home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, the probate process can be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
No.
And we're back, Detroit at Black and White. I didn't do the show the last couple of days, so I had to make up for it. So that's why I had the mic. That's why I'm doing this doggone thing. We have our next guest. If that's an impossibility.
You with your P number.
That's an impossibility.
First search warrant.
But at any rate, we're just talking about 7 Mile. We have a guest. I've been following him on social media. Social media is it could be the devil, but it can also be great. And guess what? He's doing great work. We have Marc D'Andre, who is the owner of 7 Mile Radio. Marc has uncovered a whole lot of stories. As a matter of fact, we have the local news contacting him to find out what's going on. I always say that, to know what's going on in the city, you actually have to keep your nose
You
to
got
the
to go
ground.
into the community.
You have to be in the community. And this young man is in the community. He uncovered the story about, he's the one who did the video about the young man that was sleeping on the porch.
And I thought of him because I went to get some coffee this morning. You know how cold it is at 7:30 in the morning. People sleeping out there in the field. I said, well, there's a church right there. There's a hotel right there. I said, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That these people, I don't know how they survive.
So he did that story. You did I want you to tell the story about the Travel Lodge Hotel, because that is deep. You also did the story about the guy with the autistic kid that was in the and he came and interviewed you. I'm telling you, he is on the move 24/7. So go ahead, tell us the story.
Where should I start? I mean, you
Congratulations.
Let's do it with the kids sleeping outside. How did that end?
How did it end? Well, to be honest with you, I don't know if it ended, to be honest with you. And that's about as much as I can say about that as far as the update on it. But somebody came to me, one of my Facebook friends came to me with the info that these kids have been sleeping outside or been forced to sleep outside since August. And by then it was like after Thanksgiving. I believe it was December 1st.
Yeah.
Right. So I decided to go over there because I didn't even believe it was true. I'm like, you telling me that there's kids sleeping on the porch right now and their parents have forced them outside because allegedly, right? They're of the world, they're not allowed in the house. Now, this is what was told to me. This is not nothing that I made up and trying to put out there to demonize nobody. So I had to go over there to see if it was true. You know what I mean? So when I went over there, I was shocked to see the kids actually sleeping on the porch. So when I seen them on the porch, everything else that I heard must be true. They must have got kicked out for that reason. So yeah, I just kind of sprung into action in Big Brother mode and went out there and asked them if they needed some help. They wanted to warm up or needed somewhere to go, and they refused all of the help. And I called the police. And, you know, when they came, they said that, well, pretty much there's nothing that can be done because there's nothing illegal going on here. It's their choice.
Tell us about 7 Mile Radio. How does this all work, and how do you report on this, and what platform are you using?
Well, I use social media, Facebook, YouTube mainly, and I have my own website, 7mileradio.com, where I document everything and my blog, right? So that's pretty much where I do it all at.
Andre, would you Mark, would you tell them about the story? Because I've been following about the Travelodge motel, hotel.
Well, it's called the Travel Inn, but I nicknamed it the Trafficking Inn.
Yes, the Trafficking Inn.
The Trafficking Inn, right? So that actually is the hotel where, if you are familiar with the story of Naziah Harris, the young girl who was the 13-year-old that came up the last time they seen her was on the bus.
Right.
And I uncovered a lot of details about that story. And it turns out that was the last place that she was seen alive, right? So when I put that out, you know, me and my team did some investigation, and we found out, well, it didn't really take too much investigation to find out, you know, what we need to know about that hotel, but it's a lot of trafficking going on of all types up there, right? So from human trafficking, they got kids involved, prostitution, drugs, and everything. And allegedly, the owner is in on it. So
tell them about the older lady that's living there, how the doctors can't even get to her.
Yeah, I mean, and they're charging people $1,300 a month for rent there, and it's roach infested.
Move downtown or something.
Well, yeah, right. $1,300, right, in a hotel.
That's outrageous.
on Harper and Collins, right? Roach infested, rodent infested. The lady who actually uncovered the details of what's going on up there, she told me she administered last year over 200 doses of Narcan from people that's overdosing there herself. She said she keeps Narcan, right? So it's crazy up there right now. And in fact, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Right now, they probably just picking her up. But I just did an interview with her last night. There was a dead body there in the room, right? That they had left there from like 7 o'clock yesterday, and the police came allegedly and left her there. And I guess because the morgue hadn't came and picked her up. So, but the 80-year-old lady that's there, she's bedridden, and the doctor can't even get in there because of the conditions.
But crime is down. No attacking.
Well, you know they want to paint a picture for this town for, you know, the tourist attraction. They're trying to make it a tourist attraction, right? And then and another story that I uncovered that you probably seen was this alleged new center rapist that's going on.
Oh yeah, I saw that lady.
And then she said that apparently this is starting, or she originally reported it last year around the time that the draft, the NFL draft,
in April.
Yeah, so they told her to like keep it under the rug and not say nothing about it because they want to, you know, they don't want to scare people off because of the draft.
But you know they did that during when we hosted the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they hid all of the homeless people.
And the young lady got killed standing in line trying to get in a restaurant. She came from northern part of Michigan, and they covered it up, and they still hadn't found out who killed her. So, you know,
you said you were up all night. Tell us what you were doing tonight or last night.
Well, it's a lot of different stories that have been coming through my desk. Missing kids, working on the website, just updating blogs. And yeah, it's been a lot of stuff going on.
Where are all these kids? Where are all these kids?
I mean, if I knew, I would go get them, man. If I knew, I would go get them. And apparently, it's a big problem in the city because, you know, from what I understand, in major urban cities, the major components that attract traffickers, right, is basically cities that are close to international borders, cities that have airports within them, and cities that have railroad systems.
And what about the abandoned houses? This reminds me of when they want to get rid of somebody, they throw a body in an abandoned house.
I mean, how many bodies have we found in abandoned houses in the city? So, you know, you're speaking the truth right there.
Are you doing this full time, or is this a full time gig for you, or part time?
Yeah, I mean, 7 Mile Radio actually started off kind of like a hobby.
That's where I was
Right.
going.
I started off as an internet radio station that was created to spotlight the local entertainment scene, the artists, and, comedians, just all of the whole artistry community in the city. But when I tapped into the journalism and news, it was like I filled a void, or I tapped into a void unneeded.
Yeah, you did something that back in the day, Alan, what we used to do as young reporters, go into the community, get to know folks. I remember at the time, my Bannon baby in South Haven, it was 10 below zero. They found her on the porch. Thankfully, she was alive. And I told my editor, I said, I bet I can find out who left that baby there. Oh, no. I went to the bar, sat at the bar, and said, the guy was drinking a beer. I said, damn shame about that kid. He said, yeah, that's so-and-so, baby. And call the hospital. People know. You know, people know if you got a connect in the community, a lot of these media types don't have connections.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess it all boils down to being trusted in the community, right? And being trusted is a direct result, I guess, of getting the results that people feel like they want, right? And that's the reason why people don't trust police per se, or trust even the media, because sometimes they spin the narrative and spin the story around to something that wasn't even completely.
How often the media calling you?
Every day, all
The
day.
mainstream media.
Every
day, all
yeah,
day.
a whole
They
lot.
want you to do their story.
Well, what it is, not that they want me to do the story, it's a lot of times that I have info about stories that they want to know. You know what I mean? Or a lot of times it's a story that I broke that they didn't even know about, and now it made mainstream news. And now a lot of times people come to me with their information and with their stories because they look at me as a go-to for the mainstream media outlet. Like if Mark published it, then the news is going to see it and it's going to make the news.
Are they giving you any credit?
Credit as far as what?
You know, when I write, if you gave me a story, and I write on the story, and I don't say according to.
Well, yeah, they always give me credit like
okay.
that. I mean, I thought you meant like
What
financial compensation.
about grants from the city? Because they got money that these anti programs and stuff.
Yeah, it's hard to get grants. We got gatekeepers in the city when it comes to the grants and all of that type of stuff, right? And then it's hard to do when you have gatekeepers in the city.
So, Mark, before we wrap it up, I just want to give you credit for the story about the coaches.
Oh boy,
the coaches, basketball coaches, football coaches.
They've been doing that for 50
messing
years.
around with these kids, but guess what? His stories have gained traction, and some of these people have lost positions, and I'm hoping some of them get locked up. But hopefully you'll come back and you'll be able to talk about that. But talk about the I told you congratulations because there's going to be a new school that's opening up here in the state of Michigan. So talk about that briefly.
Yes, Valor Military School. Valor Military School will be the first Black military school open in Michigan. So we are raising money to break ground on that. So
where at? Okay.
I wish you wouldn't ask me that because I can't remember exact city, but it's outside of the city of Detroit, probably about 40 minutes out. Is it Muskegon? I think it might have been. I think it might have been Muskegon or outside of Muskegon.
Pay attention.
Why they going way up there?
I think it was because of the availability of the land.
Shit, we got a whole ton of land.
But again, there's listen,
bank,
you're talking about gatekeepers and availability of the price.
Well, we need to keep.
Well, listen, I'm not the one with the check, man. I didn't write it, so we got to talk to the man, and I'll have him on my show. He actually came to my studio the day before yesterday.
And all these grants and stuff, and I think an organization like you should be able to get some of this money because they are giving money to a lot of these organizations in the city. Because we haven't had the
you know what? It's a lot of people that say there's a lot of people that have said that to me, and then they've offered help, and then within offering help, they want to charge me bone marrow.
Yeah.
Right, for the help. You know what I mean?
And then call them out.
And then it turns out a lot of times these people don't even know what they're doing and don't have the connections and the resources that they say that they have. So yeah, I don't. And my skill set is the technical side of everything. So
well, we're gonna have to have you come back and you know
yes,
do the whole.
We're gonna forge we're forging a relationship here. We want to thank you so much for Take
Yeah,
my
and I wish I would have got here
invitation.
earlier, but
Me
you know,
too. I was expecting
east
to be
side
here.
trains and trying to get my junior ready and situated so I can get here. It was just,
You mean you didn't take the toy train to get in?
Oh, no, I didn't. I wish
I
I would have. They didn't say it was free. Are you talking about the Cuba?
Ain't that our subway?
Right.
Well, they don't reach all the way over here, right? So they spent how many $1 million just for it to go up the street?
Too much.
Yeah.
So, well, hopefully we'll have you back sooner rather than later. We'll
Yeah,
try
just
to
let
get
me know.
Lisa Carter on here.
Oh yeah, that's my,
follow her.
that's
And
my number.
also Mr. Eric Brown, who's calling out all these predators and the president of the Predator Association. But at any rate,
And I want to thank Jim and our guests, Eric, Vanessa, Adolph Mongo. We'll be back next Wednesday at 8:30, and next Friday at 8:30, and Saturday. Yeah.
Great comments.
Keep watching.
Great, great
and thank you
participation.
for
Colleagues.
liking, subscribing, and sharing.
And
Odell and
7 Mile
Cynthia.
Radio.
It's 7 Mile Radio. Hey, listen, man.
Burdell.
You got my support. You
That's
know,
right.
keep kicking their ass. Thank you, Allan Lengel, our resident journalist. He can be a pain in the ass sometimes. But he
Hey
our
man, you
pain
better.
in the
Hey
ass.
man, you got another journalist on the panel. You better take it
That's
easy, bro.
Well, we'll have a good weekend.
Most definitely.
And
Do it.
fuck
Do it. Go Lions.
Oh man, I wasn't expecting that one. Come on. Oh man, I gotta leave on that.